Hey everyone, Paul here with Coping with Cardboard, and today I have a match between Porco Galliard and Annie Leonhart Awakened. This is a variation on my friend Andrew's Porco deck that he's dubbed Kickflips, with the idea being that the deck reminded him of being a kid and having a friend say, "Hey, want to see me do a kickflip?" to his parents, and then trying like 4 times before actually landing one. On the first one, his parents are like, "Hell yeah, let me see it," but by the 4th attempt, they were just relieved that they could go back inside. Today, I'm playing my friend Danny's Annie deck that they've been working on really hard for the past month or so to get ready for our upcoming regional event. The matchup is pretty much 2 angry 7-hand size aggro decks beating each other up as hard as we can. It's unfortunately a little rough to see due to the angle and glare, but Danny opened by building a pass-through walls, a rank of titans, a Jaegerist follower, and a tough skin. It's an okay build turn from them. They got 2 backups and 2 foundations, but they usually want to see a Thea Magath, Finally Free, or Master's Pride on their opening turn, as these cards help them advance their game plan pretty consistently on their second turn. They'll still be able to make something happen with these, but it's not a perfect situation for them. In contrast, I open with a pretty unrealistic hand, reviewing a Titan Armbar, a card we really want in discard so we can put it into our card pool later with Mighty Blitz, playing 3 Capture the Targets, an Ignite, and a 1-man Inferno. I only say this is a pretty unrealistic hand because it's very rare to find multiple copies of a foundation in your hand, let alone 3 copies of one of your most aggressive foundations on your opening turn. And being able to review the perfect card into your discard at the game's start is a crazy way to turn up the advantage early on. We go back to Danny's turn, and they start off by reviewing a Jaw Titan's Bite and drawing their hand. They stop and think for a minute, and then they play Support from the Female Titan. This is a key card in their deck that allows them to grab an additional momentum if they already have one. In combination with Annie, this allows her to grab 2 momentum off of 1 attack, usually allowing a transformation on the second attack played. A pretty ideal line for Danny is to go Support from the Female Titan into a Rapid Speed Slash and choose to either build and defend, or if they feel their opponent can't deal with it, go all in. We go to blocks here, and I opt to block with a Titan's Armbar, as that's a card that's more effective in my discard pile anyways, and I have a Mighty Blitz in hand, so I'm feeling pretty confident I can use it from discard if needed going into my next attack turn. I really want to block this move because I don't want to give Annie any additional momentum to use as a resource on her next attack turn. It's a relatively risk-free defensive play for me that I feel pretty safe in proceeding with at this point. And right here we do see the Rapid Speed Slash come into play, which will allow them to net a total of 4 momentum if they choose, which sets them up for a pretty scary defensive turn if they want to pump the brakes here. Though stat-wise this move isn't anything extremely scary, it is certainly advancing her game plan forward here and forces me to think a little bit. We do opt to transform here, and that allows us to give our attack plus 3 damage, making this move a pretty hefty 4 low for 7. I end up opting to take this hit to the chin, as I really want to hold the low block in my hand, which is a Mighty Blitz. I have a hunch that we're not going to attempt another attack this turn, and I can take 7 to the chin and be feeling pretty good. We do opt to build here, starting with a Finally Free, going into an Undercover Infiltration, and ending with a Jaegerist follower. This gives us more foundations, but the only card doing much for us defensively is Finally Free, which grabs us some momentum that we can use to DR our rival's move and give our next check a bonus. This is really important as we only have 2 foundations and a backup in order to pass our checks with. So if they want to block any of our moves coming up, they really need to make sure that they can pass their checks. I draw up my hand size and decide that I really need to start by dealing with their momentum, as they have a lot of damage reduction with the amount that they have. I opt to open with a Bad Guy Roundup, which allows me to both discard one of their momentum and draw a card here. I can follow this up with a Mighty Blitz as well, which will thankfully allow me to discard 2 additional momentum with my Roundup in the card pool, so I'll be able to tax their defense pretty heftily with just 2 attacks here. Danny opts to snag an extra momentum with Finally Free to make up for the momentum that I just stole from them, which is a really big deal. After they do that, I follow it up with Porco's main ability, milling 3 for +1/+1. Milling is a really big strategy for the deck for a couple of reasons, with the main reason being I really want there to be options in my discard for me to tutor up with Mighty Blitz. Specifically, I'm looking for teaming with the Attack Titans, which is the main way that I kill people. If I can find those and stuff them in my card pool, I can pick them up again with Mighty Blitz and just start slamming them down for very low progressive. Additionally, as you just saw, I want to hit what the community lovingly calls Bing Bongs, which are cards that have effects that play when they hit the discard pile. The main trigger for this is going to be the card Loss of Consciousness, which allows me to seal one of my rival's foundations. I also am looking for the card Lust for Battle, which gives my rival's next check -1 when it hits the discard pile. This helps to cancel out her check bonuses a bit, and it helps to reduce her defensiveness. Speaking of defensive, we see a Filled with Doubt come in to seal the Mighty Blitz, which is really big from stopping me from discarding 2 of her momentum. I'm personally not too worried about it because I do have a second Mighty Blitz in hand, but it's a really good defensive play from Dani, as there is always a chance that I don't have a second one, and we may completely negate my ability to tutor from discard if this is the only Mighty Blitz that I had in hand. We take a look at the top card of our deck with Jaegerist followers and confirm a future check, and actually opt not to DR this move, which is a little surprising, but understandable as we're banking on me not having a second Mighty Blitz, and potentially want to save our momentum to use it on our next attack turn. But, of course, we do always have the second Mighty Blitz, and we're officially off to the races. I skipped ahead a bit here as I took a solid 30 seconds trying to decide whether it's more beneficial to add in a Titan's Armbar or a Teaming with the Attack Titan here to complete this string. And I end up opting for a Teaming with the Attack Titan as I only have 5 foundations, and some bad checks could really turn this game in the wrong direction for me. So I need to make sure that I can pass my checks and play some really clean moves. Additionally, Dani's only at 13 health, so I feel pretty confident I can make the damage happen without an armbar in my card pool. I go ahead and add Mighty Blitz to my hand and add an Ignite to the card pool, as I have no other attacks in hand and I want to force them to use their last momentum. By grabbing Mighty Blitz, I'm essentially saying DR this attack or lose your momentum on the next one. It is a little bit of a scary play as I'm going to be playing this Mighty Blitz on an 8, and if I check a 3, I have to commit Porco. So it's a bit of a misplay on my end, but we'll see if it works out. We do end up checking the 5 here, which is a really big deal, as we're going to be able to grab a second teaming from the discard and start a loop with the remainder of our hand to play out these teamings. I don't transform here because I am worried that they're going to be able to block this move, as they still have a pretty hefty bonus to their check and likely have a low mid block in hand. So I'm really hoping that if they block this move, I can play 2 more attacks and just seal the deal. I also am able to re-ready my 3 capture the targets here, which is really able to solidify this kill turn. It was a bit of a misplay because I didn't re-ready one of my capture the targets earlier, which would have guaranteed that I can keep my character up, but it ended up paying off in the long run, so it's okay. They are now down to 8. We go ahead and play our last teaming here, and I'm feeling pretty confident that if I transform here, we are able to get there, as this attack comes in as a 5 mid for 5 that we can make into a high, which will keep them from blocking with their +1 mid blocks on Finally Free, and it will get +1/+1 with our character, and it will get a final 2/2 when we transform. I really don't think there is much of anything that they can do to stop me here with their momentum fully taxed, and it looks like I am correct, as we are able to give it a final 2/2, and are able to hack their checks a little bit with a final Lust for Battle milled, and we are able to seal the deal here. They still do go ahead and try to block here, but even with a 5 check, they end up being exactly 1 off. So milling that Lust for Battle is really what was able to end this game for us. And again, even if we failed that, we check and see if we could play another teaming. This teaming would be on an 8. The card pool doesn't represent that. I got a little overzealous during the last attack and forgot to add an extra card to the card pool, which I make up for right there. So it would have been on an 8. I would have had to check a 5, and I would have had to commit out to play that last attack. I would have ended up checking a 5, which means that we would have won that. Hey there, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoyed that game between me and my friend Dani. I know it was kind of short, but right now I am kind of testing the waters with this kind of gameplay format to see if it's something that people even want or would even be interested in. And truthfully, I didn't want to edit a 3-game match if it was something that people weren't really going to care about. So if you guys want to see how the rest of the 2 games go and want me to narrate it, I will happily do it. I think our game 2 was really interesting and there's a lot of really cool stuff to talk about, but I want to make sure it's something that you guys want to see. So if you liked it and you like this type of format, please tell me that you liked it by liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see about making more of these. With that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please check out some of our other videos. I know that I personally haven't been making budget builds in a minute, but my dear friend Thomas has been making some really awesome budget builds I would love for you guys to check out. Jordan has a really great competitive cardboard video that he's made. And if you guys haven't checked out our website yet, I think our best content right now is on our website. And my friends are doing an amazing job at making articles for you guys. So please check out our articles. Please comment on them to let us know that you like them. Otherwise, we'll stop making them because we're making them into a void and we don't know if you like them. And tell me what kind of content you want to see articles made on. Let us know the content that you guys want to make. We're having a lot of fun making content, but if there's stuff that you see a void in that you think we would be able to accomplish, let us know. That's all from me this time, guys. As always, have a great day and keep coping.